This is ACEP's Capital Minute, a look at what's happening in Washington, D.C., affecting emergency physicians and your patients. I'm Laura Worcester. Two opioid bills that ACEP worked to have introduced in Congress have cleared a major legislative hurdle this week. The House of Representatives on Tuesday unanimously passed the Alternatives to Opioids in the Emergency Department, or ALTO Act, and the Preventing Overdoses While in Emergency Rooms, or POWER Act. These bills will improve emergency care coordination and pain management, and they will also ensure that emergency physicians are equipped with the tools they need to fight the opioid epidemic from both a prevention and treatment standpoint and provide patients with the care they need. Now that the House's work on this legislation is complete, the focus moves to the U.S. Senate, where they will take up their own opioids package. Both bills continue to be on track for inclusion in that as well. To learn more about the specifics of these two bills, please go to the link at the bottom of the screen and stay tuned for all of the latest developments. Here is further proof that your advocacy efforts work on Capitol Hill. Last month, LAC participants shared stories with their congressional offices of how drug shortages of essential emergency medications are affecting the care they provide to patients in the ED almost every day. They asked members of Congress to sign on to a bipartisan letter that ACEP developed, urging FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb to convene the FDA's Drug Shortage Task Force, along with other relevant federal agencies and stakeholders, to identify the root causes of drug shortages and develop recommendations back to Congress on how to address them. The voice of emergency medicine is strong on Capitol Hill, and your advocacy was effective. The letter for the House of Representatives just closed with more than 100 signatures. The Senate letter will close on Friday and already has 28 senators signed on to it. That means that fully a quarter of Congress has directly responded to your advocacy. Thank you to all who participated. An update now to a story that we first brought regarding Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. The insurance giant has agreed to delay rolling out a controversial change to their emergency room claim process of denying emergency care for members holding HMO policies if the insurer considers the visit to be unnecessary. Patients could be on the hook for the entire emergency bill. The new process was set to take effect on June 4th, but will now be delayed for 60 days, according to the Texas Department of Insurance, which has been in discussions with the health insurer and continues to have questions about how consumers would be able to appeal denied claims. ACEP is actively fighting this policy, believing it is in violation of the federal prudent layperson standard and it puts patients at risk. Stay tuned for additional updates. ACEP recently hosted a tele-town hall meeting on gun violence and injury prevention. ACEP holds such town halls on an annual or semi-annual basis, hearing last year from GOP Congresswoman Diane Black of Tennessee on ACA repeal. This year's guest speaker was Democratic Representative Seth Moulton of Massachusetts. Hundreds of ACEP members participated on the call. Congressman Moulton outlined the progress on gun violence and injury prevention legislation in Congress, including the bipartisan bump stock ban and the no-fly, no-buy bill. Many participants on the call asked about action in Congress and about how ACEP members could get involved to move legislation on common-sense solutions to keep communities and families safer. That's ACEP's Capital Minute for the second week of June 2018. I'm Laura Worcester. Thanks for joining me.